Hello everyone, it's Vice Pitcher here, and today we are back with some more Bleed to action in the Story New Game Normal Beginners Tournament. This is a tournament we are hosting in the Bleed community to encourage new runners to start running the game and to improve the tournament. The tournament is having a 100 Australian dollar prize support, where the winner of the tournament gets 75 and the runner-up we get $25 Australian dollars. We are gonna wait now for our runners to start. This race gonna be between Sade and DeadOnArrival. It's gonna be a really exciting race. And I can't wait to see what strategies the runners today are gonna bring to the table. So we're gonna wait for the runners to start here. So this is gonna be the first round for both of these runners in this tournament. So it's gonna be very exciting for me as a commentator to see what strategies they're gonna use as well. As I have previously never seen any of these two runners running the game, so it's gonna be really exciting to see this. And to see what strategies these runners have started to learn for the run. In yesterday's race we saw that there were quite a bit of differences between the two runners in the strategy. I am hoping for a similar difference today to see what each of the runners has started to practice, what each of the runners has prioritized and things like that. It's gonna be really exciting. Looks like the runs are getting ready. I'll go check back and see what's happening. Yes, it's gonna happen soon. The arrival is on the start street and is starting. The arrival has started, but it hasn't started yet. I'm gonna have to. It seems like something is happening in the Discord. Yeah, it seems to be a problem in the Discord here. Okay, we are gonna start soon. Yeah, start soon. I was really curious at what happened when the arrival started dating. Seems like Dave is ready and then on arrival is also getting ready. I go check back here what's happening. Okay, so like the runners has to do something, so we are gonna have to wait a little bit until we start. Before we start though, I should talk a little bit about the tournament structure we have here. The tournament structure is gonna be double elimination, as this runners first run of the tournament, none of them have lost a single match yet, so if your favorite runner is not making it to this round, don't worry about it. They will still have another shot in the upcoming weeks. The double eliminations can work like this. Once a runner loses, they get into the losers bracket, and then from that point onwards, if you get eliminated after that, you are out of the tournament. Each of the runners will at least run 2 races. So how does this work if in the finals? Well, that's simple. In the finals, if the one who won every single match up until that point loses in the final, they will get another shot afterwards, straight afterwards. As I said, each runner has to lose twice. This is even counting in the finals. So whoever is winning in the losers bracket is gonna have to win over the other finalist 2 times. The first time to make them lose the first time, and the second time to make them lose twice. See it as if this is a video game and each of the runners has 1 extra life in addition to their regular life. I will check back and see what's happening over here. Okay, it seems like the runners are getting ready. Seems like the runners are about to get ready. So the run will probably start really soon here. Okay, both the runners are on the startup screen for select difficulty. Okay, that doesn't look correct. Okay, there we go. Got a little concerned there. No picking hard here. No picking hard here. Don't make it rougher than it is. Okay, the runners are starting. The runs are starting. Let us see what's happening here. Both the runs are making it out there. DeadOnArrival seems to be a little bit ahead of Sade here, but it's just really barely. Just really barely. It's gonna be very interesting as before to see what kind of strategies these 2 runs are gonna bring to the table today. I should talk a little bit about the category here. The category is New Game Normal. With New Game, it means that the run is performed with only the new game weapons available. And what are the new game weapons? Well, they are the weapons you have when you start up a new save file in this game, or in the arcade category new game. In new game, you only have access to the katana, the sword, and the sword and katana weapons. You have no access to the other weapons, and the only dash attack you have access to is the normal one. This means that a lot of focus is going to be put upon the runner's ability to reflect the bullets, and the reflect in this game isn't working. Oh no, DeadOnArrival were a little early there. A little early on the reflect. The reflect system in this game works like this. The runners can reflect any bullets or projectile or enemy, really anything that is purple, but they cannot reflect anything that's yellow. This is one of the most important DPS mechanics in this game, especially a new game. This is also a very great defensive tool when you are running in the platforming sections. Both the runners are handling the first boss spell and are going to the second boss. The health situation for both the runners are looking really good. I don't see that any of the runners are gonna have any problems with the boss fight here. DeadOnArrival playing really well here. Getting the reflex, perfect. And DeadOnArrival is out on the first boss fight. Sade is having a little bit of trouble here, not getting the purples. Getting the yellow instead. Getting the yellow boss with the purple boss. As I said before, you cannot reflect yellow stuff, only purple. So getting the yellow boss there is really not preferable. DeadOnArrival pulling ahead a little bit. But this is still anyone's race, really. The first course is probably the easiest part of the run to keep equal pace on. The real difficulties of this run are gonna start on the third course and onwards. DeadOnArrival keeps on getting the purples. Keeps on getting the purples here. This is a really good day for DeadOnArrival. Getting a purple rocket, and there we go. Very clean key to chopper for DeadOnArrival. Sade keeps getting the yellows. The yellow rocket is not the end of the world, but it's definitely not preferable. Sade keeps losing time to not getting the bosses to do what they want to. DeadOnArrival is doing really well here. However, DeadOnArrival is having a little bit of a problem going into the second boss fight. Their health bar is really not looking too good here. That can become a problem, and there is the death. It was thankfully a death relatively early on in the boss fight, so it didn't cost too much time, but still an annoyance. That is giving Sade a little bit of time to catch up there to DeadOnArrival. Both of the runners are getting the purple rocket, exactly what you want to see here. DeadOnArrival is done with the boss, and Sade has about 3/4 left as DeadOnArrival leaves the room. Seems like Sade caught up a little bit due to the death, but now Sade is having a little bit of a sketchy health situation. Hopefully it won't punish them. Both rounds are now at the Valentine fight on level 2. This is a very interesting fight as the runners have to succeed with the boss mechanic to be able to damage the boss. Any mistake on this part can be extremely expensive. So it's very important for the runners to not fail these parts. DeadOnArrival getting the first one. 1 out of 1 so far for DeadOnArrival. Let us see if Sade will match that. Yes, they did, and DeadOnArrival is 2 of 2 so far. Will DeadOnArrival get a perfect 3 out of 3 on Valentine? They see all of the boss patterns here. To get the 3 things, the first thing is to throw the 2 pink cards, the second one is to throw up a card that is turned to dust, and the third one move is to turn up on the laser. Yes, both the runners seem to be 3 out of 3 out of Valentine. We'll love to see that. We'll love to see that. And the health bar didn't come back to be a problem for Sade as well. This is lovely. Both runs are pretty even with one another out of second level. DeadOnArrival is still a little bit ahead, but I think Sade did catch up a little bit on level 2. But now we're getting to level 3, which is the first level when the runners are gonna be facing quite a bit of challenge, and there is gonna be some potential for some really interesting strategies. The first boss of this level is gonna be the legendary Red Sprite. Red Sprite is my personal favorite boss fight in this game to run, because there is a lot of reflex going on in that fight, and you have to dodge quite a bit to avoid both the yellow bullets, her dash attacks, and of course the yellow, of course all of the flying projectiles running around the course. It is quite an interesting level, and DeadOnArrival is out there, and Sade is also doing really well here so far actually. Getting a lot of the purple ones. The purple ones are really important to get in this fight, because the more purple you get, the quicker Red Sprites can go down. Sade not really getting all of the reflex. And there we go, Sade is out to fight, just as it seems like DeadOnArrival is joining the Ninja. The Ninja fight is one of the more interesting parts of this round we're gonna see. It'll be very interesting to see how the rounds are handled in phase 2 of the Ninja fight. There are several ways to handle this. Let's see what the rounds are opting for. DeadOnArrival is going for the Katana strat on the Ninja. Going for a safer version of it, but still going for a strategy. That is a relatively complex strategy that is very dependent on the runner's understanding where the hitboxes for the Ninja is and how the reflect is working. They are going for a really safe version of the trick, but still going for the nonetheless, which is gonna save time if Sade doesn't match it. Let's see what Sade does. Sade is not going for the strategy. Sade is also getting a lot of dashes. That is not what you wanna see. Sade is losing significant time on the Ninja boss fight due to that. DeadOnArrival is coming up to Rex Rocket with very little health left. This can be a scary thing. This boss is not too difficult, but there can be problems if you're low on health. Because there are some paths with this boss that are quite scary. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how DeadOnArrival is handling this. DeadOnArrival is down to their last life. Can they seal the deal here before the boss does? And they jumped down and they got it. That was really scary. I would personally not have gone for that with that health bar. But DeadOnArrival did it and it did pay off. And as DeadOnArrival leaves Rex Rocket, Sade is joining him. DeadOnArrival having a relatively clean Rex Rocket fight so far, having a better situation joining the fight as well. Getting some purple rockets it seems and some purple shots. This is really good looking for Sade here, who needs the game to deliver some goodness to them to catch up to DeadOnArrival, who is a little bit ahead here. DeadOnArrival is already on the Shaft Spammer. And as Sade is entering the fourth level of the game, DeadOnArrival is leaving the first boss of the level, going into the tunnel, the auto-scroller tunnel. As this is an auto-scroller, you might think that, hey, this is probably not an interesting part where the runner can gain or lose any time. But oh, you would be wrong. This auto-scroller is a little different from most auto-scrollers in this game. The speed in which the game is scrolling is constantly increasing, but to make it a little bit more casual friendly, whenever you take damage, you are slowing down a little bit so you have time to recover. And just like that, which means that if you are taking damage in that part, you are gonna lose time. That was very unfortunate. Sade having a really good time against the Shaft Spammer here. Getting out the fight at a really solid time and having a really solid fight there. Now Sade is joining the tunnel just as DeadOnArrival is starting the Guppy fight. Guppy is one of the easier bosses of the game, but don't let that fool you. There is still a lot of things that can go weirdly on the Guppy fight. DeadOnArrival is down to their last hit point. Seems like DeadOnArrival is preparing to do an intentional death at the start of the next boss fight. I hope I am correct here, otherwise it can be a little bit of a problem. Yes indeed, DeadOnArrival going for the intentional death there. And it's still one boss fight ahead of Sade. DeadOnArrival is soon gonna be done with Rubble Gippy and Stew and gonna go into Rubble Wide. As Sade is just about to finish up Rubble Guppy. DeadOnArrival is having a pretty good health situation here. Let's see what strategies they're using. They are using the Katana Flurry strat on the White fight. That is probably one of the safer strategies that are still relatively fast in this boss fight. I really like this choice of strategy for this tournament. I really like the Katana strategy choice here on DeadOnArrival's part. It is a very safe strategy, but that is still relatively fast. That is the kind of strategy I really enjoy to see here. And there we go, DeadOnArrival doing quick work with Rubble White. Joining the Rubble Bunny fight. And just as they do that, it's time for Sade to do the fight, and Sade is going for the spinning around strategy with the bomb. Sade is opting for the harder but faster spinning around strategy. Let us see if they are gonna get rewarded for their bravery of doing this strategy or not. And there we go. Sade is doing relatively well. Having a kind of rough time here as the boss refuses to do the patterns they wanna see here. And there we go. It's done. Rubble White is finally down. But it was significantly slower than DeadOnArrival's slightly safer strategy. The White strategy there is one of the harder strategies in the entire game. Even many top runners struggles to perform that strategy well. It is a very complex strategy for that boss fight spin around, because you both have to control your aiming and your spinning around. DeadOnArrival is now on segment slider, doing a really good job here so far. The health bar is not looking too good, but it's completely normal at this point. Runners are often expected to take at least one safety death on this course. Due to it being a gauntlet of really difficult sections. Sade is joining the warship now as well. Still being a little bit over a boss fight behind DeadOnArrival. Anything can still happen though, and DeadOnArrival's health situation does not look amazing. It seems like DeadOnArrival is gonna aim at doing a purpose death here soon. Yes, it is. DeadOnArrival is gonna take their first safety death, it seems like, on this course. There we go. Sade is joining the segment slider, doing pretty well, skipping the reflect there. That is probably a pretty wise choice considering the health situation right now. DeadOnArrival getting double walls on the Nemesis core. This is quite significant. DeadOnArrival having a really good run so far. A really strong run so far for DeadOnArrival, not gonna lie. Very few things have gone wrong on DeadOnArrival's part so far in this run. It's a quite remarkable run to watch. DeadOnArrival is done with the Nemesis core, while Sade is soon done with the first step. Still a little bit over a boss fight behind. But anything can change though. Anything can change here as DeadOnArrival goes up to face the dreaded anti-battalion. Destroyer of runs. Ooh, DeadOnArrival having a death at the end of the bubble section. We hate to see that happening. It's a very common sight though in this game, regrettably. The bubble section is probably one of the harder parts of this run from a platform perspective. And even top runs have a really difficult time navigating this nasty section, especially if they take a hit and are out of their normal route here. That is probably enough to help Sade catch up a little bit, unless they are also gonna face some action here, which I don't hope. DeadOnArrival entering the anti-battalion. Getting a Pac-Man! It was a yellow Pac-Man, but still a Pac-Man. This boss fight are having several patterns. The worst one is most likely the rockets, and the best one is the Pac-Man we saw. The other ones are very good. And a second Pac-Man! DeadOnArrival getting double Pac-Man on the anti-battalion boss fight. That is exactly what they wanna see. Regrettably, none of them were purple, but still, that's some remarkably good luck. Sade climbing up, gonna join the anti-battalion fight as DeadOnArrival is leaving the warship behind. We'll see what Sade is getting here. Sade is getting a shark. The shark is a pretty good thing to get. Not the best. Getting some roof. Getting some rockets. That's not what they want to see here. Come on, anti-battalion, give Sade some Pac-Man here, and there we go! A Pac-Man for Sade as well. And it's a purple Pac-Man. Oh no, Sade was a little early with the reflect. A fun fact in this game, if you reflect purple enemies too early, they will actually not take that extra damage. I am not sure why that happens, and they will of course also lose their purple coat. I am not sure why that happens. It's probably to avoid the runners just standing next to the boss and spamming and avoiding the mechanics entirely, but that is a thing. Sade is now leaving the warship behind, as DeadOnArrival is handling Valentine's second step in the showdown. The showdown is a quite interesting level. It is a long boss fight. It's a 4-stage boss fight, and DeadOnArrival is currently on the second phase of the boss fight. Soon gonna enter the third one, which is probably considered the by far hardest of the four. And here's the third stage. In this first stage, Valentine is gonna fly around and teleport for a bit. And then she's gonna do some patterns. It's pretty interesting. What is important in this fight is to use those windows you can damage her to the best, and to get all of those opportunities as well as possible. And of course to hit her quickly when she teleports around. DeadOnArrival done with the first phase of the fight. And it looks like DeadOnArrival is not gonna go for the cutscene skip here. It is a choice we've seen by a couple of runners this tournament. DeadOnArrival on the final stage here. Let's see here. DeadOnArrival is going for the stun block, but doesn't get it. Meanwhile, as DeadOnArrival is closing up the fourth phase fight, Sade is joining the third phase of the fight. Sade is delivering a really good Val fight so far, and yeah. Sade is gonna leave significantly behind here. It doesn't look like Sade is gonna go for the purple step either, for the cutscene skip. DeadOnArrival is significantly ahead so far, but anything can still happen. The last course is gonna have the runners face up the dreaded rival. The rival fight is this game's longest single boss fight. If you do not count the final boss, or this fight here that is a 4-phase boss fight. But it's the single longest boss phase at least in this game, by a significant amount. But first, the runners will have to get through the rival's machinery. The first fight here that we see is the Mantis Core, which the DeadOnArrival is currently taking on. Let us see how Sade is handling Valentine 4 though. If Sade's gonna go for the stun lock, or can't get it, of course. They are not going for a stun lock. Sade is soon out of the showdown. While DeadOnArrival is just starting the Whale Core. It's looking really rough for Sade here, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Sade is gonna need to have an amazing epilogue to catch up here. As DeadOnArrival is 2 boss fights ahead. DeadOnArrival getting the yellow rocket there. That is not what the runners want to see. As I mentioned before, in this game you can reflect stuff. The stuff you can reflect is the purple stuff, but not the yellow. The runners of this game really want to see purple, not yellow. That is because Rin has purple hair. If you play as the rival, who has yellow hair, you can reflect yellow stuff, and yes, I am not kidding. So the ultimate character in this game is actually someone who has painted half of their hair purple and half of their hair yellow. I have no idea why no one in this universe has decided to do that yet, but let us not think too much about that. And let us go back to look at our remarkable runners going through this final course here. Sade is joining up with the Whale Core here as DeadOnArrival is going through the Crawling Core. Beautiful. And DeadOnArrival is done with the Crawling Core, having a little bit of a scary health bar here. The question here is if DeadOnArrival is gonna take a safety death before the rival fight or not. Sade is still on the Whale Core but just getting out of it. It seems like DeadOnArrival is gonna go for the current health bar, hoping that it's gonna get him through the rival fight. Let us hope for the best, and there we go, seeing the first katana. The katana is the thing you do not want to see the rival do here. Katana is both slow and it's one of the most dangerous mechanics of the fight. Seeing some rockets there. And Sade is joining up with the Spider Core. Getting the purple rocket but misses the reflect. DeadOnArrival is going for the tennis match. The tennis match, there is a thing called fast tennis that you can do, but I am not expecting to see that strategy used by any of the runners for the final. And DeadOnArrival is done with the first match, and that is game. Sade is going down into the Crawling Core.
I want the stream to know that I did it! Yeah!
That was round one. Round one goes to DeadOnArrival, who apparently let out a little victory scream on their stream. We are
Half a heart hero as well as survived on 3 hits in the final fight. Let's.
Yeah, there we go. Changing over to Sade's stream now. Sade is finally coming up to the final boss fight against the rival. Let us see how that is gonna go. We are first of all gonna give... Yeah, we are. Then the rival has got their match point. Lovely, lovely. Sade is doing relatively well so far in the rival fight, not going for a tennis match, saying no to that. Saying no to the tennis match, getting the purple kick, and says thank you. Says no thanks to the tennis match once more, a very wise choice. Interesting fact, it is actually losing you a little time to do it if you are not going for the fast tennis match. So it's definitely a wise choice to not go for it if you're not going for fast tennis, and if you can secure enough dying to the box. Because if you're not going for the fast tennis match, it's actually a relatively safe thing to do. This match is safe plenty of damage, and there we go! Purple kick Sade is done as well with the first race. There we go! And both the rounds are done with race number 1. So here we are. The first race is done. Hello. Okay, so we are back here. We are still gonna start the second round. We are soon getting ready to start the second round. Seems like we have some problems though. It was an exciting first round. DeadOnArrival did a wonderful race. Let's see if Sade can catch up and get 2 wins back to back here and claim the victory. Because a friendly reminder to everyone. Okay. Things are looking like they are getting ready. But yeah, let's see if Sade can get 2 wins back to back here, because remember, this is a best of 3. Just because DeadOnArrival won the first match, it does not mean this is over. But Sade is gonna have an uphill battle ahead of them. We're waiting for runs to get ready for round number 2 out of 3. Both rounds are on the difficult selection part. Let's see how it's going over here. Runners are getting ready to start, it looks like. I cannot wait to see the upcoming 2 fights. Between these 2 runners in their first round of the tournament. A friendly reminder to everyone, even if someone is beaten here today, it does not mean their journey is over. This is gonna be a double elimination tournament, so no matter how it goes today, both these runs are still gonna be in this tournament. Having a chance to win the lovely prize pool of $100 Australian generously sponsor donated to us by SpeedGaming Speedrunning Academy. The winner of the tournament will take $75 Australian, and this runner-up in second place will take $25. But no matter who loses this run, no matter who loses this race, both these rounds are in the having the potential to get the prize pool. Just because today's race don't go well for any of the runners, it does not mean their journey is over. This is the Story New Game Normal Beginners Tournament, a tournament we are hosting to highlight and encourage some newer runners in the game to start running and to improve their times. The layout for this tournament was that we had an opening period where the runners were submitting, and we were trying to. If you see that it was relatively new runners with lower on the leaderboard we joined in, so that it would be a tournament structure where new runners would have a great chance, and less experienced runners to show off their skills and their growth throughout the weeks the tournaments would run. Then the runners got 1 week to practice up and learning a little bit more strats and getting better, and now we are here in the first round of the beginners tournament. Runners are getting ready to start, it looks like. And there we go, the runs are starting. Almost in sync. The runs are now out of their home. Maureen is out, ready to dye her hair pink and taking names, and just her hair is already pink. And there we go, both runners are handling that first section wonderfully well. Joining up for the climb, up to the second tutorial boss, who is designed to show up the concept of time slow for the runners. Both rounds handling this section wonderfully well. Going into the first real boss, the blast jumper. Let us see how this treats the two runners here. DeadOnArrival starting off here immediately, getting a little flyaway. Not the best thing, but definitely not the worst. What runners don't want to see here is the boss flying away, and Sade is getting the double purple. That is exactly what you want to see in this game. Sade catching up a little bit here. The runners are almost tied out of this first boss fight. DeadOnArrival slightly ahead though. Slightly ahead. Taking on the driver's seat in this run as well. But Sade is right behind them, ready to take the wheel at any point in time. DeadOnArrival start the fight against the Mirror Core. Sade as well. Sade is getting the purple reflex. That is exactly what they want to see. DeadOnArrival also getting a purple, but they reflected too early. As I mentioned in the first race, and there we go. They are so close to one another. This is gonna be an exciting race. As I mentioned the first race, if you are reflecting too early, the boss will not take any extra damage, and the purple coating will be removed. As I also said, you can reflect anything that's purple, but nothing that's yellow, and that is because he got purple hair, and that is true because Rival has yellow hair, which means that Rival can reflect yellow stuff, which is true. So, as I also mentioned before, if you have purple and yellow hair in this universe, you are immortal. The runners are coming up against the kitty chopper here. And there we go. DeadOnArrival is making quick work of the kitty chopper. Going into the tunnel. DeadOnArrival coming up against the Semi-Core. And taking a safety death. That was probably the wise choice there. It gave Sade a little bit of an opportunity to catch up though if they don't go for the safety death and don't die. So Sade has a little bit of an opportunity to catch up now if everything goes well. Sade is handling this fight wonderfully. It's a textbook example of how to perform this fight. Not getting any proper rockets, sadly. And there we go, Sade doing the fight perfectly despite having low health. No problems at all going in with low health if you know how to not take the hits. DeadOnArrival going up against the dreaded Valentine with the cars. In this fight, the goal is to succeed with the mechanics. If you do succeed with the mechanic, you get the damager. If you fail, you do not get the damager and have to wait around 5 seconds for another shot. So you really do not want to miss anything here. Any little mistake here is very, very much punished on the timer. The Rava getting the first one, getting the second one, it seems like. Yes, there they are. Sade also getting the first one. Both runners have been flawless so far in this fight today. The Rava getting the final one, and they failed it! This might pose an opportunity for Sade to catch up a little bit. Sade is 2 out of 2, and their rival is 3 out of 4 and is out of the fight. Let us see if Sade can take this opportunity, and they do. Sade is catching up a little bit to DeadOnArrival on the Valentine fight. We love to see that. We love to see that. We love to see a little bit of catching up. Not that I love to see runners fail, but it's always more interesting for me as a commentator and for you as an audience with an even battle between two runners doing their very, very best to beat a game as quickly as humanly possible. The Rebel going into the red fight, having a really good time so far against red, getting the 3 purples back to back there, exactly what you want to see. Getting some more purples, getting another triple purple. Their rival is having such a great fighter against Yellow Sprite, and same with Sade. Both these runs are really having a good time against. There we go, got a yellow. Double yellow is not what we want to see. We want to see purples. Remember I said before, purples can be reflected, yellows cannot, because bring got purple hair. Their rival is getting into the ninja fight again. Doing really good so far. Getting all of the reflex. Going for the strategy again. There we go, getting the purple. Taking a hit there. That is not the end of the world. Their rival is having a quite healthy health situation. And there we go. Sade is entering the second phase of Ninja Fight now. And let's see if they are gonna go for the Katana strat there. No, they are not. They are opting out of the strategy once again. And there we are, Sade is out of the ninja fight. But just as they leave, their rival is about to be done with the auto-scroller and is gonna enter the final boss course of this, or boss fight of this level. Which is gonna be against the dreaded Rex Rocket. Their rival is having a really good health situation now, though, so Rex Rocket shouldn't pose any problems for them. And beautiful, getting some rockets there, and lovely reflect. Their rival getting the fight done. Sade is not looking too good from a health perspective moving to Rex Rocket. Is Sade? No, Sade is not taking a death there on purpose. Sade is gonna aim at fighting this fight with 1 health. Let us see how that goes. This is really scary. Any little mistake here can cost them a lot of time. Don't do that to us, Sade. Don't drop close to the bottom of the border here. Don't do it. I know you can do it, but my heart doesn't. There we go, you did it. You did it, you made it through. Don't play like this. Don't play like that, okay? Do not go close to the bottom border there with that health bar. You are making my heart worried. Their rival is getting to the shaft spammer. And beautiful. "49 seconds out of chat spammer. That is what you wanna see. The rival is going into the tunnel again. Yes, Sade is joining the chat spammer. Chat spammer is doing really well so far. But Sade's getting one of the better patterns here. The rivals seem to have taken a hit somewhere in this part, it seems like. It's a little slow. I'm not sure, I can't tell. And there we go. Then the rival is going up to the boss gauntlet just as Sade is about to leave Chat Spammer behind. Sade is getting up against the dreaded... Okay, this boss is actually not dreaded. I cannot in any way, shape or form make this boss sound scary, okay? We all know this is Robo Guppy, one of the easy bosses of the game. And there we go, lovely. And one of the fastest ones as well. Then the rival making short work of Guppy, having a little bit of health left. The question is, will they go for a safety death or will they fight? Will they take safety death before the white fight? It looks like they are going for this fight without safe death, so I am assuming they're gonna take a safe death before Robo White. And there we go. And they are done! Robo Gippy and Stu are done, and then a rival is going into the white fight, where they are taking a purple step there. The better choice. Definitely the better choice here. And they are going for the same strategy as before. As said before, I'm excited to see the strategy performed in this tournament, as I think this is probably among the better strategies for new runners to begin with, learn to handle this one. It is a relatively safe and still relatively quick strategy to take care of Robo White. The other strategy, which is the one that Sade seems to be using, is to spin around with the bomb. Which is a more complex strategy and quicker if done perfectly, but is way rougher. We'll see if Sade will stick with that this run too, as they are leaving Robert, Kitty and Stu in the dust. Sade is now joining the Robo White and is going for the strategy indeed. Having a little bit of rough time to spin around with Robo White. Fight is taking a little while. There we go, getting the purple, and they are choosing not to reflect it. And there we go. Robo White is done. Just as DeadOnArrival is joining up with their date with the segment slider. The segment slider is one of the more platforming intensive bosses in this game. The boss is gonna dash back and forward a little bit and shoot out their little thingies. The rival is soon done with this boss fight, having a little bit of a rough health situation, but that is completely normal in the warship. The warship is one of the hardest, if not the hardest level in the entire Bleed too. Even runners on a higher level sometimes have to take a safety death on this course, because this course is just rough. It is a rough section after rough section after rough section. Sade is now getting up as well, getting ready to face off segment slider as well. Having a little bit of a problem with the bubbles there. DeadOnArrival taking another save to death. Very, very clever choice. There is nothing worse in this game than dying towards the end of a boss fight. That is definitely not something you want to see happening to you. Arrival getting a second wall, and Sade is starting off against the segment slider here. Segment slider is treating them pretty well here. Sade is taking every opportunity to deal some damage to the boss. I gotta say, it's a very, very clean segment slider fight on Sade's part. Getting a lot of time to deal damage to the boss. And makes full use of what they are given. The health situation is looking pretty good here for Sade, and with that, they are done, and DeadOnArrival is at the second part of the Nemesis core boss fight. They are about to round off the fight. Let us see if they can do it. And no, they're gonna have to do another cycle. It's not the end of the world though. It is definitely possible to get it rough. Here is the question. Will DeadOnArrival go for... Yes, indeed, they went for a save to death again. DeadOnArrival keeps on getting those save to deaths. I'm really liking that playstyle. Really safe on the... Really safe with the health bar, but really letting himself perform at his very tippy toes when it comes to strategies. Very good risk versus reward analysis on DeadOnArrival's part in this tournament so far. I am really impressed so far by how DeadOnArrival is handling decisions, risk and versus reward. Sade is delivering here against the second phase of the Nemesis core. And it's done, and DeadOnArrival is getting another little man there, and a purple one on top of that. DeadOnArrival is soon done with the dreaded anti-battalion fight. They are now out of the warship, and Sade is joining the bubble section with a little bit of health left. What will they do? They are of course going for it. They have 3 health. It is definitely doable to get out of the section with 3 health. That is definitely not something I fought before. I'm really liking their choice there. Having a little trouble there getting up. This is scary though. Oh no, Sade took a hit and went down. That is devastating right at the end of the bubble section. I am not blaming them at all for taking the choice not to take a purpose left there. It is definitely a good choice there. It's a sad thing it didn't pay off. Climbing up and getting ready for anti-battalion, drowning in the bubbles. We hate to see that happen, but it happens on runs with skill levels there. It should be added that platforming section is one of the points where the most runs die by accident. Even runners on a really high level have a huge problem with that part of times. And Sade is getting the Pac-Man immediately right off the bat, and it is a purple one, and they spare the purple reflex. Getting some bullets. Let us see if Sade can get a second Pac-Man. And it looks like... And so, let's see here. And it looks like they are soon done. Yeah, they're over. It's over. The Adcon is done. But on DeadOnArrival's end, DeadOnArrival is on the third phase of the Valentine fights, where they are fighting off against Dread Valentine 3, which is one of the rougher bosses in this game, and one of the more punchy bosses to fail stuff with. This boss is gonna teleport around, at which point you are dealing very little damage to her because you are not gonna have constant focus. So you have to make use of the moments you can't actually damage her. And DeadOnArrival is handling the fight perfectly. And they are not going for the purple stiff, and they are... What are they doing to Valentine there? There we go, Valentine is getting hit. And they are on the fourth and final phase of the fight. Will they go for a stun lock and get it? Looks like they're going for a stun lock, and they got the first round of stun lock. Will they get the second round of stun lock? And yes, they did. They got a perfect stun lock. They are out of the showdown here in a remarkable time. DeadOnArrival is having a really good run once again. And Sade is delivering as well here against Valentine. Getting into Valentine's second phase. But DeadOnArrival is joining in for the final course, the epilogue. Where they are gonna face off against the rival. I'm not sure if you all want to hear the story about why. Gonna take talks about here. Right now, in the epilogue in this game, they are gonna decide who is the great hero once and for all between Rin and the rival. If Rin wins, the rival gets the title of the greatest hero of all time. If Rin wins, the rival has to play video games with her. Yes, this is indeed the story of the game, everyone. I am not making this up. I couldn't make it up if I wanted to. That is the actual story behind the epilogue. Sade is going up against the dreaded Valentine 3 now. Doing really good job so far. Going for a reflex there, and lovely run so far. Sade is having a wonderful Valentine fight as well. It's gonna be really rough for them to catch up though, as DeadOnArrival is right on the whale core already. While Sade is still trying to get out of the third phase of the Valentine fight. And there we go, Valentine freeze stun. But on DeadOnArrival's end, there is a whale core fight going on. They are getting some really good rockets reflect on the boss. Not getting any purples here. That is not what you want to see. Once again, to remind you all, in this game you can reflect anything that's purple and anything that's yellow you cannot reflect. And that is because of the character's hair color, and yes, this is true. I am not making this up. Rin can reflect purple stuff because he got purple hair, and the rival can reflect yellow stuff because he got yellow hair. Sade is not getting the stun lock here on the 4 phases of Valentine fight. And there we go. Sade is out of the showdown, but DeadOnArrival is joining up with the crawling core right as that happens. DeadOnArrival is really looking like they are having one of the best runs ever at this point. I haven't seen almost any major mistakes at all on DeadOnArrival's part in this run. It is not over though before it's over. We have to remember, after this fight, there is the dreaded rival fight. DeadOnArrival getting the purple, getting the reflector, lovely. Textbook example. And DeadOnArrival is now looking to be wrapping up the fight really soon. And Sade is going off against the Mantis core right now. Getting the purple. Got off-screen kill, doesn't do anything there, but it's cool to get it. Sade is now getting to deal with the Mantis core, doing a really good job. DeadOnArrival is going to go up against the final boss of the game now. Rival. And then Rival taking a safety death here. That was a really, really good choice once again. Playing the tennis match and getting some extra damage in. Playing it safe and steady. I have absolutely nothing to complain about here at all. Doing the tennis match again. Remarkable. Rival is halfway done. Getting the yellow boot regrettably. Getting another tennis match. And then Rival says, yes please, I want to take the tennis duel again. And they are delivering on it. Sade is going in against the Whale Courier, getting a lot of purple rockets. Gets in a reflect of those. Then Rival is looking a little sketchy though in this Rival fight. Having only 2 health left. But the Rival is soon done. Let us see if the Rival can seal the deal here, and it looks very likely. Are they gonna take the tennis match? No, they're not. They're saying no to the tennis match and seals the deal. Then a Rival winning by 2-0 in their first round of the Bleed 2 Story New Game Normal Tournament. Sade is now joining down for the Spider Core. But congratulations to DeadOnArrival here. Sade's performing really, really well on the Spider Core so far, and there we go. Having a little bit of a sketchy health situation going into the Crawling Core. Let us see what Sade decides to do here. If Sade's gonna take a safety death, or if Sade is gonna take try to take it as it is. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do here and see the result. If I know Sade correctly, Sade is gonna go for it, and yes, it seems like they are. Let us see if it gets rewarded here. Taking a hit there. Sade is really playing this fight in a minimalistic way, trying to destroy as few blocks as possible. And there is actually merit to doing that, because this boss does actually take damage for each block it crashes into. So it is actually beneficial to have as many blocks as possible still running as the boss is going forward. It does deal slightly more damage that way. So it is indeed a wise choice to try to keep as many blocks alive as possible, as not only do you avoid wasting bullets for those, you are also getting some extra damage in because of the blocks. Sade is now gonna come up against the final fight against the Rival. And there we go. Sade is having a really good Rival fight here. Rival is already done on halfway point. But Sade did go for the option of not restoring their health for the Rival fight. They're going into the Rival fight with only 1 health remaining. A really, really brave choice that was punished. Sade keeps going for those very, very scary health bars. Sade is saying no thanks to tennis match once more. A very, very wise choice. And there we go, another purple boot reflect. Lovely, remarkable. That is exactly what we want to see. That is what we want to see. Sade is gonna clear off this fight right now. And there we go, Sade is done with the rival fight. And I'll try to get the runners in for interviews. So this was a lovely, remarkable match, and DeadOnArrival won with 2-0 against Sade. But it is not over for Sade yet. It's not over for Sade yet. It's not over for Sade yet. Sade will have the opportunity to recover in the loser part of the tournament. Remember, everyone, this is a double elimination tournament, which means that each runner has to lose twice to be out. And we are waiting for runners to join in for the post-run interviews. But yeah, as we wait here, it looks like the runners are winding down after the race. We are trying to get them here for some post-run interviews. Perhaps. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, it seems like we are gonna get the runners here for the post-match interviews very, very soon. But yes, said before, this was the first round for these two runners in the beginners tournament for Bleed 2. For the Bleed 2 beginners tournament for a normal new game. Try to get things fixed here on our end. Let's see here what's happening. But yeah, as we said before, and here we go, DeadOnArrival is here.
Oh.
Hello, is Sade gonna come in too?
I don't know.
Gonna see if Sade wants to join in.
I don't think you realize when I finished those runs, I was yelling "Let's go" so loudly because I was.
I know.
Like okay, so I have closed captions on my stream.
Yeah.
I had that running the entire time.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking it over, and I'm just like, "Yep, that sounds like me." Just middle of a run.
Indeed, indeed. How did you feel about the run so far while we're waiting for see if Sade wants to join in?
I felt really good. Like during those runs, I made a lot of mistakes, and I certainly at the graveyard I was like, "Oh God, this is gonna claim the run where all good ones and bad ones go to die."
Yeah.
They can't join. Unfortunately.
Okay, they can't. Okay, that's a shame. So then we'll only have an interview with you then. But how does it feel to go through this first round?
Feels fucking incredible. I suck when it comes to tournament stuffs. I've only ever done like tournaments a few times. Like I did one for Lethal League Blaze and for Skullgirls. I got my ass wiped in both of them.
Yeah.
I barely ever get to go on to like any further rounds. So the fact that I get to go on my first round, I get to move on to the next one, feels so good.
That makes me really, really happy to hear. But for everyone who sits there at home, just because Sade lost, it does not mean they're out of the tournament. This is, as I've mentioned before, a double elimination tournament, which means that each runner has to lose twice before they are out. So if you want to see Sade run some more, you will be able to do so in the upcoming weeks as we plan their next match.
So excited to be going on to the next round. It's with Gigi, isn't it?
I am not certain how it looks like. I am gonna check that out. I think your next opponent might not have been decided yet. I'll check out how the things look.
I think it was going to be Gigi or it's going to be whoever wins between Gigi and the last person, which I didn't check out yet, and I probably will.
Yeah, it probably is. It's probably gonna be the winner between Gigi and Ali.
I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, during that entire match, I played the best fucking Bleed 2 of my life.
Oh yeah, I noticed. You played really, really solid. You did very few actual mistakes.
Like,
it was just a solid run. You got every single strategy you were going for.
I think the one thing that I don't regret trying was trying to add in the slash and shoot. Because I was tapping F at like slower intervals to try to start getting it ingrained in my memory.
Yeah.
I think that benefited some of my boss runs a lot.
Yeah. One thing I noticed as well during your run was that you were very good at calculating risk versus reward when you decided what to go for.
Yes, that is something that I've had to get a lot better with. I was actually playing like 2 nights ago with Jackets in the call, and sometimes he would call out certain hit points, so it's like 3 hits remaining. I started recognizing that in the middle of the run, and I was like, fuck it, can I do this in this many runs? No, I can't. Dips off the edge.
Yeah, no, I definitely noticed that you were going for safe depth very, very frequently in a very, very healthy manner.
The one that I was the most happy with, Rex Rocket. I never do well against him, and I did so well!
Yeah, I noticed.
It feels so good because it was like so many of those runs. I hate so many of those bosses, but as I started implementing more and more of the strategies, it's like, these are easy!
Yeah. Yeah, this game is really, really much about learning the strategies for the bosses and for the movement.
Absolutely. It's also very quick, which makes it a lot easier to play. Because it's like you can just play it in like short bursts and you don't have to worry about playing it for a long period of time. You can just play for like, oh, you can do a run and then you can just head off and do something else. It's practice and shit.
Yeah, no, the game is like half an hour long at most. It's not a long game.
And it's a lot of fun too.
Indeed. What are you the most happy with in this run?
I'd say just my general performance across the levels. I think my movement was better than it's ever been with how I navigated the levels. I think I did make a lot of mistakes here and there with some of those. Like, originally during my first run, I was going for the over-the-top crates in the starting area. But apart from that, I was going underneath them in the second run. Apart from that, I feel like I did really well just solidly on the bosses and figuring it out. How it all went down just as I was going along it.
Yeah.
I think my biggest fear was the graveyard, like it should be, because the graveyard, like that entire level hurts like hell.
Yeah.
That entire level is rough.
The worship is probably the roughest level in the game by far. There is not a single easy section in the entire game, and I feel like you did a very good choice in taking many safety deaths in that course.
One that I am very proud of my performance in the second run of the graveyard, despite having died there. I feel like the second chance that I got was probably the smoothest I've ever pulled off.
Yeah.
That is also just a thing I would give to people who plan to run the game. Practice the warship. It is one of the most painful levels because it is very representative of why I quit playing the first one, because the Dragon Heart section, when it was just dropping stuff down on me, I could not do anything.
Yeah, the sections are the roughest, and they are really, really rough in Bleed 1, and they are really, really rough in the Endless mode of the game.
I would imagine so.
They are generally considered one of the biggest run killers, even in the main mode of Bleed 2. A lot of runners die there, especially when going on world record attempts and you are not really able to afford to take the safety deaths you might want to take there.
Because you've got to take all of the risks to get that world record. And
yeah, indeed.
The one thing that I did recognize, the problem that I had the most area is the one where it pushes you down onto the stuff. The best piece of advice I could give you, if you can jump into that section and dash up atop the roof, that's where I was going for.
Yeah.
Is I was trying to stick to the roof so I could dash out of that area so I wouldn't have to deal with all the shit that was in there.
Yeah.
I don't think during the first run, it's not going to be evident on anywhere because the audio is not using. But Rex Rocket, the fact that I survived the first run with with literally a hit left, it just sent adrenaline through my system the entire time. Just like, let's go, brother! even if I lose this round, that's still one of my most clutch moments in all of my speedrunning history.
Yeah. So what do you look forward to in the rest of the tournament?
I look forward to just as good runs, if not just great attempts at it. I'm always a fan of some friendly competition, and the fact that this is a beginner tournament is a great place to start for anyone who's looking to speedrun. In fact, if you're looking to do tournaments in general, look for beginner ones where they have certain limits and stuff like that, where you can join and you have like more of a casual competition. Some stuff like Lethal League Blaze they do beginner tournaments that make it so you have to send a screenshot of your Steam hours, and it has to be under 200 or you're not allowed to compete. I feel like that kind of stuff, like what you guys did with the your top PB dictating that you could join, I feel like that is a great way of doing it.
Oh yeah, we definitely felt like we want to do a tournament for new runs of this game, because what we have noticed in this game is that we have some top run, like high level runners who are like running a lot. And if you have a tournament where everyone are allowed to join, it's gonna be really hard to motivate other runners to join.
Yeah, because that means you're getting paired with someone who might be considered a world fucking champion.
Yeah.
I definitely
it's definitely a choice we made. It's definitely a very conscious choice we made when we designed this tournament to make it possible for beginner runners to join in and show us their growth throughout the tournament. Because the most amazing thing about watching a tournament like this, in my opinion, is the fact that we will get to watch the runners improve over time.
Absolutely, and it's why I was like, when I was offered the opportunity to commentate it, I wanted to do it because I love doing commentary stuff. Like, when I stream games, it's fun just to make jokes and fuck around with it. And I'm sorry about the language, my bad. But one thing that I will say is that when it comes to just tournaments in general, if you're joining a beginner one, and you get the opportunity to join, there's no cost, do it. If you have the time, do it. That is my best advice. Because not only will you learn, but you'll get experience with the tournament, how they work, and you'll have a lot of fun, even if you lose your first rounds. You'll still have fun because you did the experience, you took the chance, and you learned anyways. And it's a great way to learn in general.
It most certainly is. So, are there anything you have practiced in particular for the tournament?
No, it's just going fast. Jackets will know this one, but during my Saturday practice runs, I had an extremely good run that got squandered right at the end.
Oh no, that is such a common tragedy story in this game.
And here's what that split looked like. 2 minutes 37, 6 minutes 3 seconds, 9 minutes 36 seconds, 13 minutes 48 seconds, 19 minutes 14 seconds, 23 seconds. And it all got lost at the very end.
That would have been 26 or 27.
28.
Oh no, that was a mini time loss somewhere.
It was a huge time loss, and it hurt so bad during that entire run. I was like, no, that's worse than my original PB. Why?
I would assume you probably beat your PB both of the times today. If I'm
gonna assume that much. They beat the 28-20. They beat a 27-59 I got on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say they beat that, and I'm gonna try to look back and get the highlight for that because I want to upload that for the stream.
Yeah.
Because I want that on the board.
You had two really, really good runs.
Absolutely. Those runs were freaking incredible. Like, I thought I'm going to quote Doug here and change around some words. Let's play the best Bleed 2 of our lives, is how I felt that entire time.
Yeah.
It was just full focus on the game, keep going.
Yeah.
You can't restart, just full send it.
Yeah. But you have a lot of practice of experience from before with joining tournaments, I heard you say before.
I have done I did during the quarantine tournament sessions that they did during, I believe, 2020 or 2021. I participated in a Lethal League Blaze tournament that gave every player a free DLC skin, and anyone who won the tournament would get a DLC skin for free that was coming out, but also would get money for it. I joined and I ended up getting my butt handed to me in the first couple rounds. But I did a Skullgirls tournament and managed to somehow win my losers round and then got my butt handed to me the next round. And I will say, it is certainly a lot of fun to just do tournaments in general, because it's the anticipation of actually getting to participate and that chance to show up on stream doing the thing that you really enjoy is huge. Yeah. It's a humongous feeling. And it can fill you with so many, actual feelings, with confidence or with nervousness. Going into this, I had no confidence. But when I started going and I saw the first one, I'm like, I can do this! I've got the power! Somehow! I'm not gonna give up these runs. I'm gonna send them to the end!
So, after this tournament, do you plan on continuing running Bleed 2?
Absolutely. I do. Bleed 2 is one of the quickest games that I can speedrun. I have a few other games that I can speedrun. Dark Deception, I plan to speedrun No Straight Roads. It is my favorite game, and it also has my art in it, which is really cool. Because I got into their Anniversary Edition, which is the Encore Edition on Steam. my art is at the very end of the game, and it's on a wall to the left of the tower. I plan to eventually speedrun that game, but also, just in general, Bleed 2 was what actually got me into doing speedruns, and how much fun they were. And that's why I do plan to continue doing them, because they're quick speedruns, they're a lot of fun, and even if you fuck up, you're still gonna have a good time. Because maybe you'll improve at some point and just blow your original record out of the water.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have to call the stream now, but it was really, really fun to have you on. It was 2 amazing races we saw today from you and Sade. And I can't wait to see both of you continue on in this tournament. You in the bracket and Sade in the other one.
I would also like to congratulate Sade for just doing your best. And also just finishing out those runs, even though it felt like it was hopeless. You still got the next rounds to go. I've got confidence in you. I was worried going into this because you were saying you were pulling out 25s, and I was like, holy shit, I'm going to lose this. I was like just scared out my mind going into this round. I was like, I'm going to get knocked out round 1, and I'm going to get put into the loser's bracket. And it's just like, when I was watching, the amount of, like, how quickly they were going through the rival fight was impressive to me. Because it was like, by the time I was getting to the rival, they had already finished the first 2 stages and were going on to the next 2. And I'm sitting over here like, holy cow, they're moving so quickly!
Yeah.
I just feel like a lot of good RNG helped influence those runs. Which I don't get very often.
Yeah. It was great to have you here, and I look forward to see your other race coming up in the upcoming weeks. Feel free to practice so you become even better on the next race, and I'll see you then.
I will see you then too as well. I will also probably be doing commentaries where I have the availability for time and stuff like that.
Lovely. That would be lovely.
I'll try to see what I can do with that.
Yep. Have a great one, and thank you so much, and congratulations on the win.
Yes. The big dubs. We take the little dubs.
Yeah. And with that, we are gonna close down this broadcast of the Bleed 2 Story New Game Normal Beginner Tournament. As I mentioned before, this is a double elimination, so even if you rooted for Sade and are a little sad to see them lose this run, remember they still have a chance left. This is double elimination, no runner is out in this round, and Sade is gonna continue on in the loser's bracket, where they're gonna face off against, I think it's gonna be the winner of the next fight there. So please stay tuned for that, and I'll see you around. And that was it for tonight, and see you then. Good luck, and we are wishing the best of luck to the racers in the rest of the tournament. Good night.
May the odds forever be in your favor.
Yeah. Or good day, depending on which time zone you live in. See you then. And good night.